take the reins, become the next big thing, to really be the game changer, it's going to have to be very outside the box. Never done before. A big
BDO's entrance. BDO crashing. Yes! The MMO video by Jimmy. Jimmy who? 6 days ago? This is good because I got nothing to do anyway. Let me take a gander through this. So I started my day by waking up and noticing that my desk had my coffee cup knocked over. And it spilled coffee on everything on my desk, all over my desk. My mouse pad, everything. And so I had to spend forever fucking cleaning that shit up because it basically dried up. Dude, I don't know how I did it. Like, I somehow, in my sleep, I got up and knocked over my coffee cup. I have no idea. Go to... Who the fuck is this guy, anyway? I guess he just plays MMOs and, like, talks about them? Mostly RuneScape, it seems. Okay, he's a RuneScape guy.
It got me thinking, and I might be the first one to ever have this thought, but I don't think we're getting another good MMO for a while. It's been quite a while since we've seen a real banger of an MMO. It kind of feels like the MMO industry has always just been this game of king of the hill.
BDO?
The ones at the top have ascended so high that there's really no catching up to them. It's really hard to imagine them being dethroned, and there's not going to be many that try. Because not only is developing a massive multiplayer online role-playing game one of the hardest things you can do as a video game developer, but it's also probably the dumbest thing you can do. We can't go into something like that until I tell you about something that someone's going to pay me to tell you about. So, 2023 was full of health issues for me, which led to a lot of involuntary weight loss.
Goes to show how bad marketing is in the gaming industry. Like, people just don't know how to market. And then look at, like, Dark and Darker. That game came out of nowhere. All it did was just, they got a couple streamers to play it, and everyone knew about it. It was, like, the most popular thing. But they didn't, keep up with it, and they kind of shut the bed. But it's that easy. So this year they spent zero money on marketing. They just got a couple streamers to play it. Boom. That probably did better marketing than millions spent by other companies.
A priority to make sure that I'm getting everything I need for both mental and physical health. And AG1 is helping me do just that. It's got 75 different vitamins.
The fuck is this shit?
It supports body, brain, and gut health.
Get out of here!
Signs of aging, which is really important for me as Jagex continues to release quest after quest, making it impossible to.
Oh my god, he's connecting it to the game.
Also help
Pro. You see, BDO made the mistake of paying fuck, what's his name? The big dude. Like, they paid these dudes so much money to stream BDO in an irrelevant situation that no one gave a fuck about. It didn't help the game at all. They just wasted so much money. Nah, not Asmund. They paid, Asmund actually just hopped on the game. But, unfortunately, they, like, were sucking his dick. Like, they had GMs following him around, and I think it made him feel uncomfortable. It made everybody uncomfortable. S-Fand. They paid S-Fan to play it and do, like, questing, which is, like, the most boring thing they could have had them do. Oh, no, I think they actually had them do rift bosses. But they don't know how to play the game. So, like, it was just a flop as well. Whatever they did, it was just a waste of time. Like, no one talked about it. It's just, they did it, took the paycheck, moved on. Yeah, the boss rush. That's what I said, boss blitz. They went and did that after.
Supply of vitamin D3 plus K2
they made them do that,
and
which was just
AG1 travel packs with your first purchase.
Pointless.
Big thank you to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. The thing that got me thinking.
You see, what they should have did is had a BDO streamer, because then they would have also sent viewers to this BDO streamer in the process. You know what I mean? Because people would have been like, "Oh, let me check out this guy's channel." Like, they could have had Choice coach S-Fan on how to do a boss blitz. That would have been awesome. And it would have gotten Choice a lot of viewers because people would be like, oh, if I want to play this game, this seems like the guy to watch. It'll me super helpful as I try to learn the game when I can ask him questions. Boom. Everybody wins. BDO wins. BDO's partners win, which is essentially BDO winning. And S-Fan wins because he wasn't playing a game where there's no idea what he's doing, and it would have actually been successful. But, maybe they should ask BDO partners for advice in the future. Yeah, anything. Like, you partner up. Like, dude, you partner me up. I don't give a fuck what the streamer is. I will coach them on how to play. I will have them, successfully win an AOS match with my coaching. I mean, I'm a good teacher at least. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Warrior Dojo video. Everybody seems to really appreciate that because I know how to actually connect with people. I don't just throw information at them and expect them to understand it. No, I give it to them in a way that will be absorbed because you're teaching students. You're teaching essentially children that don't know any better. You gotta
Riot
connect.
Games put a post up on their website.
If you don't know that.
Calling like to see what Riot is most likely fearing. If you look up New World's player account history and see how that unfolded, you can see just how risky it is to release an MMO in the modern era of gaming. I've got around 760 hours.
Well, to be honest, New World was great on release, and they killed that game themselves. New World was actually super fun on release, and within like 2 weeks, they started giving patches that were actually breaking the game and made it worse. Yeah, I played it a lot the first couple weeks.
That gets their funds from
and it was solid, dude. It was all around a great game. But then, like, one patch after another, they just introduced bugs and killed it. Yeah, I'm sure the beta was amazing. I mean, it just, they kept introducing shit to make it worse. Like, it was literally, if any game is ever committed, like, develop Sudoku, whatever the fuck it is, this game did it. Better, worse than any other game. Like, sure, BDO is doing that right now, but New World did that within its first month. They were just like, yeah, I'm going to put a knife in my neck. Like, they just instantly were just like, yeah, I'm going to ruin this game. I'm going to fucking off myself.
Amazon themselves can't really do anything for you anymore.
I don't understand what that was. I liked the combat. Yeah, it was clunky, but at least, like, it was, you could outplay people, and it was simple enough to learn quickly, and that was enough. Satosho Tamashiro, anime YouTube. Watch this video. Why now? Somebody told me to watch this, so I said, all right, I'll watch it. And my mouse pad's currently wet, drying off because I apparently got up in my sleep and knocked over my coffee all over my desk. Didn't know and went back to sleep, and so I had to wash my whole desk off. And my mouse pad is still drying, so I can't really like move my mouse well. So I feel like I'm not gonna PvP well right now. So I was like, all right, fuck it, it's a good time to watch a video.
Of underwhelming.
Yeah, you might have just not given enough of a chance. I mean, you definitely, the nice thing about this game is that you know, don't need to commit to any class. You could, especially in the beginning, you were able to respec pretty freely. And, you know, you can level up any weapon, so you can just try everything out. You know, try out random mixes of builds, try whatever you want.
Projects that saw short-term success, but
I think the other thing, though, that is killing MMOs now is streamers and YouTubers. I think it takes the magic out of these games, you know, like learning the games, figuring out yourself. That was what made these games fun. And you don't do that anymore. You know, if you didn't know somebody who knew how to build and could tell you what you should build, if you didn't bump into somebody who was like, yeah, so you want to do this, you wouldn't know. There was no, like, YouTube the answer. You know, people didn't bother making shit like that. So you didn't have these answers. Now you do. And I think that takes the fun out of it because you lose a lot of time. You know, the time of figuring things out is gone. You know, it's kind of just Google it and have, you know, it's either you look up a YouTuber to tell you or a Twitch player to tell you. That, and for whatever reason, these games are making it simpler now to do things instead of being more complicated. So not only is it harder to find, you know, that challenge of figuring the game out, but there really isn't a challenge because they fucking feed you how to play now in most games. You know, that's why BDO is probably the last appealing one because every time there's a new class, you know, it's like figuring out how to play it is usually pretty fun for a bit. That's what makes these new classes fun. But unfortunately, they make them way overpowered, and so everyone's just doing it together. You know, it's not like, I'll figure out how to play it to be okay. No one bothers doing it. Look at Scholar. There's like 3 of them. People, I feel like most of them still don't know what they're doing. You know, like, this just, I don't know. That's... But when a class is overpowered, everyone hops on it together and, like, masters, you know, figures everything you could possibly do, puts all his time into it and whatever. That's what made me think of it just now, when he had Guild Wars 1 on the screen. Because Guild Wars 1 was fun. I didn't even go crazy with it. I played it for a couple months, maybe, you know. I got the max level, I did the PvP, did the whatever, you know, high-level dungeons and whatever, started getting gear, and that was really it. I didn't go too crazy, but it was fun because, you know, I was trying to figure out what builds to run and finding, you know, really good builds out and stuff like that. And that's what made it fun. That's what made hopping on these games. You know, it wasn't like you hop on an MMO just to fucking live that MMO. You know, like now it's the only game you play because you're grinding to get to the end game and all that. It wasn't really about that. It was about it was about the journey. Now it's more about the destination in these games. Because they took the journey is just a grind. The journey used to be fun. It used to be learning the game and all that. Now you're just mashing R to get through it as fast as possible.
To get there, subscriptions by themselves cannot sustain an MMO. It could pay for WoW in 2007 when everybody was paying a $15
Subscriptions gotta go.
subscription on top of buying a $40 expansion every other year.
I actually no, I have no problem playing unfinished games, but obviously it's annoying running into like game-breaking bugs.
Big and they have all of these
I mean, if it's like a beta, it's understandable. Another problem I have with games right now is betas. Like all these games that allow you to play them before they come out, especially closed betas, because like New World, you know, like you said, the beta was super fun. Okay, yes, but now you and everybody else who played that beta understands the game, knows how to level up, knows how to progress, knows the combat, and everybody else who starts playing and has no idea what's going on. And so all these people have a huge advantage on everybody else. So they start the guilds, they build up the, you know, like especially in New World, like if you were the first one to start a guild, that's it. Your guild's now one of the 5 guilds that are gonna run the server practically. Like it's, I don't know. That was another weird thing to me. I wish they just would raw release, you know, very closed betas for like very few people. But I don't want to see streamers playing a game when it's not out yet. Don't do that. I'd rather they stop doing that. Let like game testers play it. That's it, and make everybody play at the same time. Even Diablo 4, they gave it to streamers to play first. I got it early for free. I'm not even a streamer. I'm a fucking, you know, I'm a small streamer, but I got it, and I was able to get a head start on it, and so were a lot of people, and I think that was fucked up. You could pay extra to get it too, but you know, like that was stupid because now everybody got a head start on a game where people were playing hardcore to compete to be like the first one to reach max level in hardcore. Meanwhile, some people got a fucking 4-day head start. I think that was stupid. Yeah, like it would have been dope if Diablo just got released the same day for everybody at once, and then boom, that's it. Everybody gets plunged into it together. Nobody knows what the fuck anything is, how to do anything. No head starts. Would have been awesome. Would have been a better release. But
any game that sees this,
you know, like Final Fantasy 16 coming out for just PlayStation. What are these people thinking nowadays? How did they think that was a good idea? Like, I'll probably never play Final Fantasy. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I'll probably never play 16 now. I wanted to play it. I wanted to stream it. But being that it came out on PlayStation before PC and Xbox, and I couldn't play it, I was just like, well, okay, fuck you. I don't know. That was another stupid-ass decision. I'm guessing PlayStation just paid them off to do that, and they, you know, were like, fuck it, we'll take the money, because the Square Enix has been struggling with success lately.
Success is going to eventually run into this problem of how do we afford to keep this going. Back at my home base, I give Jagex a lot of money every year through subscriptions. I pay for my subscriptions on multiple accounts.
Destiny 2 is alright.
And Jagex makes millions off of players.
I don't remember much about it.
Subscription money. But you may have noticed while we're over here frolicking in our flowers of polls. And
it's the problem is all these people need investors, and investors want guarantees, and the problem is when you do things to guarantee a paycheck in gaming, it usually means you're doing something that gamers don't really like, you know? And so you're not winning the hearts of these players, and then they end up quitting the game soon. And if like the games that take a risk and don't do that have the chance at building a huge player base because they win the players over. And once you win players over, even if your game starts suck, look at BDO. A lot of us are hooked into this game. Look how long we played this game, even though it's been shit. Because it won us over with proper things at one point. And now we don't want to leave it. But a lot of games don't do that anymore. I like hearing that. Okay, here we go. Money.
MMOs are expensive to make,
here we go.
And they're
Talk about money.
to maintain. Which, by the way, whoever over at Amazon Games thought that a one-time purchase of a $40 game was going to be enough to sustain a huge MMO, what are you doing? What did you think was going to happen? And then who decided that microtransactions were going to be your next alternative, and this is what you have in the store?
I mean, the outfits were so bad in that game. What's up, Kiwi? Like, it's very tough to find the right angles. Yes. Like, that's why I feel like New World had the right angles at first. Shit, $40 purchase? That's rare nowadays. For a full game? Kind of. That was big. That's why, you know, it drew our attention, and everyone bought it and played it. But I don't think that's what killed them. I think they just... Because I think they would have been fine off microtransactions and whatever stuff they put in the game. But unfortunately, they just killed the game. They filled it with bugs and stuff and turned people off. You know, the game had tons of duping and just broken items that were one-shotting people and stuff. The hatchet bug. So many issues in this game.
To not make money.
What's fucking brackin', baby?
This was fun. I had so much fun my first, like, 2 weeks in New World, man.
The biggest problem that new MMOs are going to face are getting a true player base. Not the players that are there on day one seeing how long they can wait in a queue. Not even the ones that invest 200 hours and experience a little bit of endgame. I'm talking about the true player base. The player base that if your game shuts down, they will be on the front lines doing whatever they can to create their own version of your game, some sort of backup code to keep the community alive.
Beautiful.
Those are the players that you're looking for. They're there
Bring a
because
tear to
they
my
love
eye.
the game. They're there for real. And those are going to be extremely difficult to get because chances are
That's what I was just
they already
talking
have
about.
that game. They're already a part
That's
of
what
that
you gotta
community.
win. I
And
literally
most of
just
them
said
are
this.
going to be feeling that way about multiple MMOs. At this point, new MMOs have to pull their player base from other MMOs. You're going to be trying to pull players from WoW and from Final Fantasy and from RuneScape and Guild Wars 2. The players that already know what they like and dislike about massive multiplayer online games, which means that by default, a new MMO is immediately competing with the top of that hill. Could you imagine trying to enter that space and these are the guys you're standing next to, trying to gain their players? Good luck. The best kind of player base to get for a brand new MMO is a new MMO player. Ones that haven't experienced the other ones yet, and you're going to be their first experience, which would mean trying to appeal to the iPad brains, the TikTok brain, the fucking Fortnite
7 years.
Warzone. You know, the ones that can't even hold their attention to short form content unless there is a video below the main content that has some car.
I love
surfing
these
on
fucking
ramps
these
so that their
shorts,
weird
bro.
Brains allow them to stay there. Dude, drop a
I love that short.
14-year-old
I love
into
those.
Vanilla WoW Northshire.
I gotta
and
start
see
doing
how
those.
long it takes for their brains to start freaking out because there's not enough colors and numbers. The generation following us is not going to really be interested in this slower paced MMO style that we fell in love with. Why would they run around Elwyn Forest or go kill goblins in Lumbridge when in that same time frame they could have had 3 adrenaline pumping Warzone games to feel dopamine?
What's the
from?
answer?
They don't chase the same numbers going up that we do. It makes me wonder if the generation following us when they get to be our age, if they're going to be more interested in goal-oriented things like long-term MMO goals. I don't see new generations coming into MMOs, and I don't see current MMO players jumping to a new one when they've already established their community and love for one that they've been a part of for years. I think the current games that we
What now?
have
What's the
in
answer?
the MMO space are going to remain there, at least for as long as both the players and the devs have that desire. In order for an MMO to take the reins, become the next big thing, to really be the game changer, it's going to have to be very outside the box. Never done before. A big
BDO's entrance.
chances are that-
BDO crashing. Yes! Yes! We're doing it! BDO, baby! I'm so happy he got the essence of BDO. BDO had 2 seconds on the screen and he captured the essence. Bravo, Jimmy. Bravo.
MMO
That's
to
what we
really
want to see.
overtake
I
these
like
or
this
even
guy.
see equal success as these haven't even been thought of yet. But I just have this strange feeling that the next MMO that comes out that has 6 classes to choose from, a woodcutting skill, and 2004 ass fetch quests is not going to be the one to see themselves at the top of that hill with those. It's just a hunch. I don't know. This Ashes of Creation game I've seen talked about for like
Fetch
the last
quests and stuff, they gotta go, man. They gotta just make it kill quests. That's it. Kill quests are the way, because they're just so satisfying when you're playing a new game, because you get XP and loot from the mobs, and then you get XP and loot from the quest. It's just like, it's better than just grinding. It's grinding and getting extras. It's worth doing. You know, it's just such a better thing. And like
3
when
years.
you gotta loot the mobs to get the quest item, that's never worth it, especially in a new game, because there's never enough mobs and it always pisses people off that they're fighting for mobs. Yet they still don't know this. That was a problem in World of Warcraft, and it still is a problem in World of Warcraft, and it's still a problem in new games for some reason.
is
don't understand it.
supposedly going to be the MMO that
It's crazy. They're just everyone is so out of
blog.
touch. And you literally have streamers out the ass playing these games and saying these things, and still they're just like, yeah, but I think I'm gonna do what World of Warcraft did. Worked for them.
At the end of March.
Yeah, it's 'cause they were the fucking first ones doing it.
And on the side of the screen, I see some quests about killing 20 goblins. And I'm like, no fucking way that this is the revolutionary thing. The
I don't
next
mind
big
that.
MMO is not gonna have kill 20 goblins as a fucking quest. I
See,
promise.
nah,
They've
dude, absolutely. It should. Absolutely, it should. There's nothing wrong with
already
that.
lost in my eyes.
You're leveling
There's
up.
No way, there's just no way another one of those.
What
is
does he
gonna be
want?
The one to be up there. I don't know. There's a few things that I believe the next big MMO needs to do different.
What does he want
There's
for
March,
quests?
and not gonna be the one.
What is RuneScape style questing?
This looks cool. And on
You
the
see,
side-
the thing we shouldn't have in quests, I don't know if you can read that, but locate goblin supply crates, check on the others. That's the boring shit that takes away from the excitement.
side of the screen, I see some quests about killing.
I mean, if it tells you
20
where you're
goblins.
going and you
I'm
know what I
like,
mean, you
no
don't have to like look
fucking
for the
way
guy, it's
that
good.
This is the revolutionary thing. The next big MMO is not gonna have kill 20 goblins as a
Puzzles
fucking
and
quest,
minigames.
I promise. They've already lost in my eyes. There's no way. There's just no way another one of those is gonna.
See, I think that's already, that's gone, dude. I think puzzles, minigames, those are gone. Because now, there's no point trying to figure out the puzzles. You can't use that as an element for games anymore. Because look at BDO, right? When we do our journals and we have to like do puzzles, right, where we like talk to somebody and they ask us questions and we have to answer the right way. What do? You YouTube Chris Polly channel how to do this and you look up the answers. So now, because it's just a race now. You want to get the questing done. You want to get there sooner. And that's, it sets you back. Why bother doing anything other than looking up the answers on how to do the puzzle or minigame and doing it? And at that point, it's homework. It's not, you know what I mean? You're following the steps. You're looking it up and you're putting in the answers. That's boring. At least killing the mobs, it's action. And again, it's satisfying. Yeah, but they got to accept that those simplifications are always there now. And sure, there's people that don't do that because they're not racing to get to the end game. And that's cool and all, but unfortunately, the main player base now is streamers, YouTubers, and people watching those streamers and YouTubers. And those are people that are racing to the end. They're all in a race. And you need to win them over, and you need to find a way to keep them interested in your game. And you know what? The less situations where they find themselves going, oh, I gotta do this now, is better. When they don't do that as often, they're happy. And you know what? They're gonna want to fucking start that game back up the next day sooner. And doing things like having to Google how to fucking answer the questions sets people back, in my opinion.
MMO needs to do differently. I think the
Something more creative is good, but I think puzzles is kind of a bummer. I think if I quest tell me to kill 20 goblins is better off not there. I'll just kill 20 goblins on my own without you telling me. Well, yeah, but if the quest is giving you experience and a reward and progressing you further in the game, it's kind of like a win-win, right? I never mind kill quests. I don't know. I never mind kill quests. And they're simple, Like in New World, my favorite quests were the kill quests. Not the ones where I had to go loot crates that somebody else just looted and now they're despawned and I just checked where I thought it would be and it's not there and now I'm looking somewhere else. Meanwhile, I'm looking in the wrong spot because it wasn't there because someone else just did it. That's fucking miserable. Same thing in World of Warcraft. I always hated quests like that. And options nice. Would you rather do the puzzle or the kill quest? That is huge. Options sound really good. You know what I mean? If every quest was like, all right, so, we're having the trouble with this goblin encampment. Either we need to steal their supplies and use them for ourselves, or we got to just kill them outright. What would you like to do? Figure out a way to sneak into there without alerting them and steal the fucking things, or just go in there brute force and kill 20 of them. Me, ADHD, I'll kill 20 of them. Maybe you want to have more fun, you want a quest, go and sneak through, try to find the right way to get in and do the thing, whatever. Everybody wins. People who want to play slower and more, have more interesting routes can do it that way, or you could do it my way, which is fast, race to the end, new generation. Either or. I think that's the option is the answer. That's a very good answer. That would help with immersion, comment and moving forwards. At the same time, when you interact with the team, the game should have a streamlined quest chain to discover the map filled with dynamic events. Well, they usually do that. Most games bring in a streamlined quest chain, and that allows you to discover the map, right? I mean, that's what Land of the Morning Light did, pretty much. Yes, that was a very good way of putting it, Kiwi. We both just experienced both different versions, and neither was truthfully satisfying. The thing I did like about Land of the Morning Light is damn near every quest was telling me where to go. So if I want to race through it, I can race through it. I think having the option to race through is nice. Like, again, it's not for everybody, but options are the play.
with a structure that eliminates the locust swarm effect. Finish this as fast as possible. Get to max level as fast as possible. Get to the end game, the best in slot, the min-maxing as fast.
I really, whenever I'm talking about something, he's getting into it right after. Yes. All right, that's us. Yes, go on.
As possible. It's a real shitty habit that we've developed with video games, especially MMOs recently. I think it's played such a big role in the overall downfall of MMOs, why everything feels underwhelming now. Unfortunately, I think as long as a game structure exists that allows for that kind of mentality, it's not going to find the success that it would have found back when we weren't playing games like that. And
that's the thing. It wasn't that games didn't allow for that, racing to the end. It was that we didn't have answers on how to race to the end. Because we didn't have people streaming it, answering questions, people uploading videos on how to race to the end. And it's here. There's no way to stop it. We can't shut down YouTube and Twitch, right? So you have to accept that's the way. There's no way around it, unfortunately.
Golden age of MMOs when things were actually enjoyed. That's why we want to play games solo now. It's why you can get from level 1 to 70 playing by yourself in WoW. And that's not going to make for a successful...
Yeah, and that was good. You know what I mean? And again, it was always like that's what made games feel lively because it happened in the game, you know? In World of Warcraft, you know, like I would do a dungeon and we'd discuss things while we're doing the dungeon and be like, oh shit, I never knew that. You know, and then like you had the server chats where, I mean, sometimes super toxic, but also very helpful. You know, but people, Diablo, you know, if you get in the right Diablo 2, because Diablo 2 was basically you just join a lobby and you're with those like 5 to 10 people or whatever. And those are your friends right now. That's who you're talking to. Either they're talkative and helpful or they're assholes, whatever. But you can either learn from them or not learn from them. And that was really it. And the people that you knew in real life that you played the game with. That was all you were getting your information from.
Well, MMO, you might as well.
And it's what gave it, you know, real life. But again, that's why BDO is the last game that like really gives you that something close to that because it had such a community feel. Even we're a community in Discord together. Basically, everyone, you know, a majority of BDO has at least a few large, you know, most BDO players have large Discords that they're part of where lots of stuff gets discussed and they join in on it. BDO community was also, you know, that's what the open world stuff led to. You know, it gave it such a lively feel. But when they removed GVGs, now they basically killed that feeling, which is why it's such a bummer and why BDO feels so dead lately compared to any time before that. And that was basically their New World moment. I think that was the worst decision from PA ever, unfortunately.
As well just make a single player game. Other MMOs would benefit a lot by trying a more RuneScape style quest system where it feels almost like a mission with a lot of benefits afterwards rather than just the same generic copy pasted.
Marni Room isn't the worst. I don't hate on the Marni Room. It's a 1 hour grind. Some people, they can't be bothered. They got an hour to play. They can't be bothered with it. That's fine, dude. I don't think it's a bad thing, honestly. I don't mind the Marni Room. I really don't mind it. There's so many people in this game playing it, PvE. There's more people grinding in BDO than you realize. No matter how long you play BDO, you'll never bump into every grinder. You know what I mean? And when you consider like how many rotations there are on how many servers, that seems crazy. But that's how many people there are. And some of them using the Marni Room to grind isn't really going to hurt the game at all. That's my thought on it.
Of going and getting 10 mushrooms on a
yeah,
tree.
keep the Marnies and keep GVG on. That's all. I think that's a much better answer. A lot of people don't want to avoid, you know, you're basically like, if you really just only grind in Marni, if it's because you don't have time to look for a server, look for an open grind spot, and you just want to grind and get it over with, okay, fair. But if you're choosing to grind in Marni and you have all day, you're basically a shut-in, you know, like not wanting to go into the real world. That's fine. You want to live that way, that's fine. But most of us don't want to be like that. We like the excitement of looking for a grind spot and feeling like we're interacting with this open world, massively multiplayer open world. And it's fun to do that. Look for a grind spot. Do you mean Black Robe being removed? I don't mind the Black Robe being removed, honestly. I'm a PvPer. I use that shit. I use the Black Robe. I liked it. I like people Black Robing me, so I guess that's why I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? I'm down. Fucking, I want PvP. You know, that's exciting for me. So I liked it, but I understand that the way this game was, they should have just removed that, not the GVGs. You know what I mean? That was stupid. The Marni. Then at the end, if nothing else is left, look to alter the GV. Yeah, that should have been the last step. And again, like, dude, start a BDO by like being, you know, I like being the white knight. You know, like if I seen somebody getting griefed, a streamer or whatever, I'd be like, yo, I got you. I'd fucking deck the guy they're fighting and pull up. I've said this a million times because the big thing that led to all those changes was Cannon or whatever his name was streaming BDO and getting harassed. I would have liked to deck Goon and go help him out. It's PvP. And you know what I mean? It's so much more fun to PvP people that are bullying somebody instead of people that are like just looking to have fun, you know, because then like it gives it more excitement. You know, you're killing the bad guys. It's fun. Role play, whatever. You couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that if I wanted. So now Cannon just gets farmed and quits BDO and we're all fucked and stuck with these changes. Thanks.
Engine 5.
That's how it should have gone. And I said, dude, I mean, I had this discussion with Cannon too. I was like, bro, you did it wrong, man. I was like, if you weren't such a baby about it, and you didn't cry so much and didn't constantly, you know, jump to report people for harassing you, people would have came to help you. But you made people not want to help you, you know, because you were so stuck up about it. Like, that's, yeah, like, that's not the way to do it. There's so many people, you know, if I see somebody getting harassed on stream and they're like they're having, you know, they're just eating it, whatever, and they're like, damn, man, you're fucking annoying, whatever, but, you know, they're not like, you guys ruin games and stuff like that, then I pull up and help. I always have. I've done it a million fucking times. It's how a lot of people in BDO know me. It's such a shame. Such a shame.
It's the way it feels.
And now we can't help anybody anymore. You know, like the last person I tried to help, you know, we're flagging on each other. Thankfully, it was ETL. It was griefing THC Sativa. That was like the last time I saw someone streaming and went to help. And thankfully, ETL accepted my War Deck and we were actually able to PvP, so it was fun. But if he did it, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I'll go red. You know, like stuff like that. It would be fucking annoying. Turns out Sativa's kind of a bitch, and DMCA reported Nuke for his video kind of making fun of him complaining about Nuke. So last time I go help that guy, but whatever. I don't know if you guys follow that at all, but that shit was hilarious.
Like that.
See, like, Defias Trapper Slain, that was always the fun part of the quest. The red leather bananas, that was the miserable part of the quest. If they took out needing to loot the bananas and just killing the mobs, that was a fun quest in WoW, because quests in WoW gave you a lot of XP, and so did killing mobs, so it was satisfying. It just boosted you.
I can't really talk about right now.
The fact that
I'm working on that
motherfuckers,
beginning.
to this day,
5 days of a lot of footage. It's a lot of fun. Don't
still yell Leroy.
get me wrong.
That's a beautiful thing.
Really talk about right now, but I'm working on that beginning of May.
That means a lot to me, bro. That put a smile on my face seeing that just now.